Hey you, people of the web. It's me, Paul, welcoming you back in my studio, Warsaw, Poland, bringing you more audio goodies, knowledge and fun. And first of all, as you can see, we changed the surroundings of the episode. I'll tell you why in a minute. First, thanks for all the comments and support on my previous video about sound mic shields. And hey Lars, thank you for the discussion. I hope you're fine with the fact that we did not agree on everything. Thank you, Evgeny. Thank you also, Secret Squirrel, a new user on my channel who complimented me so much that it was really moving me inside somehow. Thank you. And thank you all that are there with me, simply having fun and communicating. It's great to have you here, guys, really. Hey, do you observe sometimes how I struggle to remember to tell you that if you like the channel, if you like the studio, if you like the vid and the things I'm gonna present to you, remember to subscribe and get notified so you're the first one to know about the new videos coming your way. Also, leave me a comment down below because I love discussing things with you. Cheers! And yeah, I changed the surroundings, and I'll tell you why now. Because software. Recently, all my vids are about software. Premiering software, not so really very premiering software. And yeah, there's more software on the market every week, like Sherry Audio issued another great synth. It's PS20 based, of course, on a Korg synthesizer, a very well-known one. Only $29. These guys deliver lightning fast, great products at great prices. The next thing, FabFilter issued Timeless 3, which is a great creative delay plugin. But you know what? I'm not really inside delays on them. I'm not gonna review it. I'm not a delay guy. I'm sorry, just like this. And also Universal Audio issued CVOX C-Suite plugin in cooperation with CDAR. And Suite means that's gonna be the first of the series of plugins. And when I hear CDAR, I know that's gonna be terrific. These guys are absolute champs of denoising algorithms. When I hear CDAR, I know it's top of the top, and it's the same this time. I mean, the denoising algorithm of this plugin is beyond anything that, I'm sorry, RX is available to deliver to you. And yeah, I'm using it with this episode, that's for sure. And it's gonna help a lot on my shitty F1 Zoom recorder. Don't buy it, I don't recommend it. It's a crappy one, but let's say it's enough to talk to you simply. So yeah, it's all about software coming in waves, premiering each week a set of great synths, plugins and stuff. And yeah, going back to where we are, my studio is a hardware place all the way. And I realized I don't talk about my hardware to you almost at all. And I believe it's a huge mistake because I know these tools, I use them a lot, and I believe it's the time I started digging through it for you. And my first choice is absolutely obvious. It's Prophet Rev2 by Dave Smith or Sequential Instruments. And yeah, this is my main polysynth, and this is my favorite synth. And today I'm gonna tell you why it's my favorite synth, why I think you should get one, and also it's gonna be some kind of a tutorial of using this and of creating patches sound design for any poly synths, I suppose, because this is like the archetype of a poly synth. Let's get into it. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do today is that I'm gonna show you some sections and some features of this synth, and I'm gonna create a patch on the go, on the fly. So yeah, it's kind of a tutorial how to use it, how to sound design, and also not only using Rev2, but also just using any polysynth, I think, because Rev2 is a good synth to present the idea of a polysynth in general. And you know what? One more thing. I believe that no matter what you do in music or sound, if you're a mixer, if you're a producer, if you're a piano player or even a guitar player, it's good to have a polysynth in your arsenal. It's just good for your imagination, for your technical skills, for your musical skills. So yeah, think about it. And Rev2 is a terrific choice, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. First, I'll create an initial patch for you, and let's start with the oscillators. Yeah, this is the heart, the essence of everything, right? And the oscillator section on Prophet Rev2 is really a stellar one. I love it because it's versatile, it's rich, it's great sounding, first of all. So you have two oscillators, two main oscillators, plus a sub-oscillator, plus a noise oscillator. You can have sawtooth, saw plus triangle, triangle, and pulse. And also you can modulate the shape, and you can also detune them in a nice creative way. Let's create something. I feel like adding sub. It's sizzling in a nice way. Let's detune it a bit. That sounds like there's something bassy ahead of us. Let's engage sync, maybe. Not this time. Oscillator sync is a great function as well. I'm not going to get into it right now, but read about it if you don't know it. It gives you great results when sound designing sometimes. And let's get to the amp section. So it's a relatively simple one. Attack, decay, sustain, release, plus you can make it work with delay, so start it later. You can make it respond to velocity, you can set amount of it, and you can also here pan spread your oscillators, so they're gonna simply randomly jump between left and right channels, but I'm gonna leave them mono, not spreading right now, and I would like to make it like the next section below also is low pass filter. Section is here. And yes, this is Curtis filter. And some people say, yeah, Curtis filter does not sound that good as, for example, famous ladder filter from that Moog machine over there. But you know what? It's not worse. It's not better. It's different. But it does give this synth fabulous character, if you ask me. They work together with the oscillators as a really great pair. And it makes this synth shine. It's making it, I told you, sparkling, very bright, but in a really good way. And I actually love it because it's characteristic. I've got nothing like that in my arsenal that works like this. And that's why I love it. And now I'm gonna set it up a bit. And there's something called audio mode here. This is an interesting function. It uses the signal of oscillator 1 to modulate the filter. And sometimes it works really nice. I leave it like this, and please notice the layout of this synth, because I think it's really genius. I mean, Dave Smith is a genius of architecture and designing instruments, because that's why I call this instrument an archetype of a polysynth. Look how well thought out is all this, how accessible it's all, how easy tweakable all this is. So if you are about to open a synth school, get Rev2, because you're gonna teach people and you're gonna learn fastest using this synth. And really, it's good to have it, believe me, guys, and I'm gonna show you more now. modulation section of Rev2 is truly one of the biggest advantages of this synth. Also very easy accessible. You have 4 modulation slots here. You can choose the shape of your modulation. Here you can choose the frequency, you can clock sync it as well, you can key sync it, you can set the amount. What else do you need? Of course, the destination. You can send it wherever you feel like it's needed. So we're gonna modulate this bass using sawtooth, for example, and the destination for this will be filter cutoff. Yeah, this is dedicated for the people that say that Rev2 cannot sound fat. Yeah, it can sound fat, especially that you can put it into unison mode that makes it actually a mono synth. You can make this thing sound like a beast, also in bass, but okay, let's agree that Moog is the king of bass department. If having 4 LFOs to modulate your sound is not enough, you've got a modulation matrix section here, where you can have 8 slots with sources and destinations to make your sound the craziest thing you can imagine. I don't feel like making this sound too crazy, but just to demo it for you. We're gonna use as a source the auxiliary envelope, like the 3rd envelope that's here. We're gonna set some attack, some decay, sustain, release. We don't need any delay. Amount. Let's make it hard. This is kind of a sound designer's bass, right? Let's move right. Here's the clock section. You can choose the BPM, you can divide your clock, you can tap the tempo as well. Then comes the ARP section with different modes, and there's also a sequencer, which is a great function for this synth. And also, I'm not using it, but well, what else can you imagine and ask for in an analog synth? You've got even a sequencer here. Let's skip the functional section, effects section. Only 4 knobs and 2 buttons, but you know what? It's great. Again, it is great. The choice of the effects, the quality of the effects, and the way they simply blend and support your sound here. Well, it's amazing. Yes, it is amazing. Chorus. I'm gonna show you something more. This is cool and I really like it. And you would say that this is probably it, but I didn't tell you. Everything is doubled here. Because, you know what? You have two layers here. And here is added layer B. It's the second, completely second set of everything. It's like the second synth in the same synth. So actually, you're gonna have two subs, two noise oscillators, 4 main oscillators, 2 effect sections, etc., etc., etc. Everything is doubled. And yeah, let's design something on the second layer of this new patch. Of course, I can use the second LFO to modulate the speed of the first LFO. I feel like adding some reverb into it. I told you guys, this is an amazing synth. Can you hear that? Can you feel that? And frankly, it's not me, it's the synth. It makes me want to create things when touching it. It's the magic, it's like, it's really mesmerizing, at least for me. It really is, because I sit down and I create patches, like a patch after patch after patch, and I like them all, not because I'm that great, because this synth is that great. And now we can stack both layers to see what happens. Yeah, I feel that I should simply separate these two layers in this particular example. So I created actually two patches using two layers. I could do it for hours, and probably this video is still gonna be too long. This is my problem when touching things and talking to you. Everything's so fascinating and cool that I cannot stop. But you know what? Let's try to sum the things up now. You know what? My coffee got completely cold, and this is this guy's fault, because as you could see, I can spend hours with it, and probably it was somehow visible on my face, this mystical element, this ecstasy of touching it and being with it. But you know what? It's true. I really love spending my time with Rev2 because it's extremely well designed. It's very versatile. It's great sounding in minutes, actually. And yeah, whether you're a professional or just a starting guy with the right budget, of course, I believe this is a great choice for your first polysynth and generally for your first synth to learn synthesis. I tried to show you some stuff. Of course, many more hours are ahead for me sound designing stuff using Rev2. And you know what? Probably one day, because I have sounds of experiments of that kind here, and one day probably I'm gonna create a full bank of things and I'm gonna give it free away to you so that you can get inspired and use it on your own when you get one. For now, guys, that's it. I hope to see you soon with more audio goodies to come. Take care.